Good evening. My name is Valerie Ireland. I teach at Jack Cullen School. I teach ADST and physical education. And this is a spiral of my respiral of my respiral. So this is my third year. Okay. So scan. So this year, I scanned myself first. So that was a little different than the other years where I scanned the kids first. And so I wanted to see where my allies were. And that's one of the questions when you scan as an adult. So I began to see where I would have support in the school and to see where my sphere of influence was. There's sphere of influence and sphere of control. So over the last 2 years, I think I focused more on where I could not control. And so this year's focusing a little bit more on the influence. So I was able to start conversations with the kids as well. And I came to my focus, which was to engage the learners with educational technology, but at the same time, focus also on the staff as learners. So one staff member said to me early on in my project, and iPads have no educational value. So that was a real aha moment for me, being in educational technology. So there were no words, so I stood there like a deer in headlights, and I speak Bitmoji, so I had a bunch of ways that I could have reacted, but I chose the high ground, yay me, and it was a big turning point. So it became apparent that I had to really focus on the adults as the learners still. So last year, part of my spiral was the hunch. There was a significant gap between the student perspective of where they wanted to be with educational technology and where some of the adults are. And even within the adults, there's a very wide range of perspectives about attitudes and beliefs about using technology and ADST. So I started my master's in educational technology this year, so doing a lot of professional reading, successes and barriers, and how to implement that in the school. And it kind of morphed into a leadership opportunity. And what that did was start conversations. So we have our wave coming up where we're getting lots of technology in the school. So I started as part of a mini committee with Paul Tucker at my school. We started looking at, oh, that's my alarm on my phone, believe it or not. That's my 6 o'clock alarm for something else. It's date night. So I started looking into leadership opportunities for staff and the anti-zombification of using phys ed in technical education in phys ed for my anti-zombification, as I call it. Devices aren't just for making little kid zombies. So I did student perspectives as well as adult perspectives, but in a nutshell, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So this year was really about listening to our staff. We did a survey on technology needs and wants, and modifying and being proactive for next year about what we can do in the school to make it a little easier for the adults in the building. So I think that's, well, there's a whole bunch more. Yay, woo, woo, all the stuff we did. Yay, woohoo. And I think my time's up. And reflections to continue working on my master's, but also I want to use the leadership opportunities to try to get others to spiral as well, because I think that the power happens when we collaborate together. So that's it.